The 2014 spy thriller, Kingsman: The Secret Service, became a major commercial success upon its release, with many fans of the film getting invested in the mythology established by filmmaker Matthew Vaughn, who directed and co-wrote the film, adapting it from the graphic novel series, The Secret Service, written by Mark Millar. Reality star Kendall Jenner has been modeling since she was a young teenager, as noted by The New York Times. Vaughn and co-writer Jane Goldman reunited in 2017 for the sequel, Kingsman: The Golden Circle, with much of the principal cast, including lead Taron Egerton, returning for the sequel. For the third entry in the franchise, however, Vaughn is going to the past. The film, titled The Kingsman, is set in the early 20th century and focuses on the creation of the agency. Due to the prequel nature of the movie, it boasts an entirely new cast. One of the most notable newcomers to the franchise is Gemma Arterton, who plays Polly in the film. That's not at all surprising, given Jenner is reportedly 5 feet 10 inches with a long, willowy frame, rendering her perfectly suited for the runway. Jenner has also graced the cover of countless magazines, from Vogue to Cosmopolitan to Harper's Bazaar, making her visage one of the most recognized around the world. While Jenner may have won the genetic lottery, as fashion photographer Russell James told The New York Times, she also makes sure to stay in shape. In anticipation of the release of The Kingsman, here's everything you need to know about Gemma Arterton's career, from her first big break to major blockbusters. Arterton was set to act from a young age. Gemma Arterton was born in February 1986 in Gravesend, a town located on the River Thames in England. Yes, she works out regularly and in a balanced fashion, in addition to living a super active lifestyle. In an interview on Friday Night with Jonathan Ross, she spoke about being born with an extra finger on each hand, a condition called polydactyly that both her grandfather and father had. And though she is very slender with what many would consider an enviable bikini body, you may be surprised to learn what Jenner typically eats. Want to know if she ever chows down on pizza? Does she eat meat or is she a vegetarian? What about her sweet tooth? Read on to find out. Kendall Jenner loves to eat a big breakfast. You've probably heard the old adage that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, which according to BBC is a statement with merit, and Kendall Jenner would agree. Doctors removed the extra fingers shortly after her birth. Arterton's mother was a cleaner, and her father was a welder, via stylist. On long work days, she makes sure to eat a big breakfast, as reported by She Finds. Her parents divorced at a young age and she grew up with her mother and younger sister Hannah, who is 3 years younger than her. Specifically, Jenner typically eats a default morning meal of avocado over eggs accompanied by a big bowl of oatmeal, though sometimes she'll replace the oatmeal with toast, as noted by People. That helps the model power through meetings, photo shoots, and whatever else she needs to get done on any given day. Jenner has also shared pictures of her more decadent breakfasts on social media. She attended the Gravesend Grammar School for Girls as a teenager, before going on to Northwest Kent College when she was 16 to study acting, via Daily Mirror. Arterton went on to attend the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art on a full government grant, graduating in 2008, per the school's website, at which point her acting career was already in full swing. On one occasion, she snared an Instagram snap of a bacon and pancakes with a big dollop of whipped butter, accompanied by a giant plate of hash browns on the side. Her sister Hannah followed in her footsteps by also attending the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. Arterton worked with Guy Ritchie early in her career. Gemma Arterton made her acting debut in 2007 with 2 films being released in quick succession. In another post, she shared her caramel French toast covered with puffed rice cereal, which sounds absolutely delicious. Finally, French toast made another appearance on her socials, this time accompanied by caramel apples and a yogurt parfait. This is what Kendall Jenner drinks all day. Breakfast may be the most important meal of the day, but staying hydrated is imperative too, according to Harvard University. In fact, being properly hydrated helps to stave off infections, support healthy organ function, regulate your sleep patterns, keep your joints lubricated, and regulate your body temperature. Plus you don't have to drink 8 tall glasses of water every day to stay well hydrated, either. You can also hydrate with fruit-infused water, or even tea and coffee. When it comes to Kendall Jenner's preferred method of hydration, there's one particular beverage that she typically drinks every day. She first starred alongside Dame Maggie Smith and Ruth Wilson in the TV movie, Capturing Mary. Her first major role, however, was in the comedy, St. Trinians, a reboot of a franchise that began in 1954. Arterton played Kelly Jones, the school's head girl, who befriends new student Annabelle Fritton and subsequently hatches a plan to save the school with a local criminal named Flash Harry. Arterton followed it up with a number of key roles in 2008, the first of which was in the Guy Ritchie film, Rock'n'Rolla, in which she played June as part of an ensemble cast that included Mark Strong, Idris Elba, Thandiwe Newton, Tom Hardy, and Gerard Butler. She also appeared in a TV adaptation of the Thomas Hardy novel, Tess of the D'Urbervilles, on the BBC, playing the titular character, Tess Durbeyfield. Arterton landed a major role in a Bond film. Gemma Arterton's most prominent role-up, to that point, came in the 2008 film, Quantum of Solace, the 22nd installment in the James Bond franchise and the second one with Daniel Craig in the leading role. "I usually start my day off with a cup of detox tea," she shared in a chat with E! News. "I have like 12 cups a day. That's a lot of tea." Jenner's preferred brand of detox tea is Kusmi, which contains mate, green tea, lemon flavoring, rosehip seeds, and lemongrass. You can see what tea time looks for Jenner in a post on her Instagram page. Spoiler: it's fancy. These beverages are on Kendall Jenner's menu. Tea isn't the only beverage that Kendall Jenner typically drinks in a day. Looking at her glowing skin, it's safe to say that she makes it a priority to take in some quality H20 on the reg. "I try to drink a bottle of water a day," she revealed in an interview with Harper's Bazaar. Arterton played Strawberry Fields, an MI6 agent stationed at the British consulate in Bolivia. "And I love kiwi strawberry Snapple." Talk about a throwback with that latter choice. Given that Jenner was born in 1995, perhaps the iconic 90s beverage reminds her of her childhood. In addition to those drinks, Jenner has posted about her other faves on her Instagram page. She's enjoyed the Kids mocktail of choice, a Shirley Temple, according to one post she shared. Initially assigned to make sure Bond returns to the UK, and what better way to celebrate July 11th than scoring some free Slurpees from 7-Eleven? Of course, Jenner couldn't pass up that deal. From Bolivia, Fields ends up helping Bond, with the duo going undercover at a fundraiser held by main villain Dominic Green. Arterton followed that up in 2009 with the thriller, The Disappearance of Alice Creed. Arterton took on the titular role of Alice Creed for the film, the only child from a rich family who gets kidnapped by two criminals named Vic and Danny. Held hostage by them while they demand a ransom from her parents, Alice discovers that Danny is someone she used to be romantically linked with years ago. Arterton starred in blockbuster remakes and adaptations. In 2010, Gemma Arterton starred in two blockbusters. The first was Clash of the Titans, a remake of the 1981 film, co-starring Sam Worthington and Mads Mikkelsen. Finally, on days that are chilly and gloomy, Jenner enjoys nothing more than a hot mug of cocoa topped with marshmallows. Talk about relatable. This is Kendall Jenner's go-to lunchtime meal. If you're familiar with the kind of schedule that Kendall Jenner typically follows in a day, you know there's a good chance she's busy with something. In the film, Arterton plays Io, a woman suffering from immortality for rejecting the advances of a god. Whether it's meetings with her sister or hopping on a flight for Fashion Week, time is of the essence for the model. To that end, Jenner doesn't have a ton of time to set aside for her afternoon meal. She reveals Perseus's true origins and travels with him to see the Stygian witches, who tell Perseus that a kraken can be defeated with the head of Medusa. Later that year, Arterton also starred in Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, an adaptation of the Prince of Persia video game series. "Most of the time lunch is really quick," she told Harper's Bazaar. "I typically eat lean chicken and brown rice, and am always snacking on raw veggies with dip and hummus. Hey, time crunch or not, those are super healthy choices." For as glamorous and exciting as Jenner's life must be, there's one mundane task that she prefers to do herself when she can. "I wish I had more time to do grocery shopping because I like picking out my own vegetables," she continued. Arterton played Princess Tamina of Alamut, which is a holy city that gets invaded by the Persian army. The Persian monarch's adopted son, Dastan, steals a sacred dagger that allows the wielder to travel back in time by a minute. It's safe to assume she still gets top-notch produce no matter who buys it, though.
This is what Kendall Jenner orders at Health Nut. Regular watchers of Keeping Up with the Kardashians know that the Kardashian-Jenner clan eat a lot of salads, often while processing whatever drama has bubbled to the surface that day. Tamina reveals that she's a guardian of the dagger, which can access the sands of time underneath Alamut, allowing the user to rewind time further. Arterton hunted witches and worked with Diana Rigg. Arterton returned to blockbusters in 2013 with Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters, a reimagining of the classic fairy tale in which Arterton plays Gretel, who is now grown up and hunts witches for a fee alongside her brother Hansel, played by Jeremy Renner. The two siblings go to a town named Augsburg, where they're hired by the mayor to find their missing children who the townspeople think have been abducted by witches. Arterton continued to appear in supporting roles in films such as The Voices, The Girl with All the Gifts, and How to Build a Girl, while also taking a lead role in the 2016 film, Their Finest, where she plays Katrin Cole, a woman in London in 1940 who gets tasked with telling stories about Britain's efforts in World War II through a female lens. And if you're a super eagle-eyed viewer, you've probably noticed that there's one place the family gets their salads from quite often, Health Nut. As it turns out, Health Nut is a real restaurant, and not some branded catering business the Keeping Up with the Kardashians producers dreamed up, which has several locations throughout Los Angeles. So what does Kendall Jenner order when she frequents the healthy SoCal eatery? According to Glamour, she typically orders a deluxe salad with chicken, hold the tomato. This super nutritious salad has lettuce, shredded mozzarella cheese, sunflower seeds, carrots, cucumbers, and an optional scoop of tuna. She also returned to television in 2020 for the miniseries Black Narcissus, where she played Sister Clodig alongside Dame Diana Rigg, who passed away before the series premiere. The Kingsman is sure to be another highlight in Arterton's career, which is already an illustrious one. The film will be released in theaters on December 22, 2021. That actually sounds really good, especially since it only has 380 calories. Interestingly enough, Jenner's sister Kylie orders the same thing at Health Nut, but she omits the shredded mozzarella. Kendall Jenner loves to eat burgers and pizza. While Kendall Jenner is a world-class model, that doesn't mean she starves herself or says no to foods that are high in fat and calories. According to her half-sister Khloe Kardashian, Jenner absolutely loves mowing down some comfort classics. People always find it funny that Kenny is on the anti-model diet, she wrote in her app, via Cosmopolitan. She loves burgers and pizza and goes to In-N-Out all the time. She added that Jenner is her go-to buddy on cheat day. Burger aficionado that Jenner is, she's taken to Instagram to document her love of fast food. And, of course, there was a snap featuring burgers and cheese fries from In-N-Out Burger. We even know exactly how Jenner likes her bacon cheeseburgers, with pickles, ketchup, and red onion, as she's shared 3 separate posts of her go-to delicious meal. Burgers aren't the only higher-fat meal Jenner loves. She shared a photo of a giant piece of pizza, which indeed looks bomb, as the caption indicates. These snacks help Kendall Jenner balance her blood sugar in addition to eating regular meals every day. Kendall Jenner is also a lover of healthy snacks, and who doesn't love snacks? Having a variety of munchies on hand is also super important for Jenner's health, as she has a high metabolism. I have low blood sugar, so I definitely need things to keep me going, aka lots of food, she wrote on her app, via the 30. Here's what will forever and always make my list. Twix, Justin's peanut butter, chips and guac, and hummus and carrots. Clearly Jenner isn't a ridiculously high-maintenance person, as all of those foods are common finds on grocery store shelves. See, pretty simple, she continued. Just feed me and I'm ready to go. From the looks of it, Jenner will sometimes have other snack options available to her, according to a post on her Instagram page. In addition to veggies, hummus, and chips, her snack bar may boast grapes, cheese, popcorn, salsa, and pretzel thins. This is the food that helps Kendall Jenner relax in the afternoon. Some days Kendall Jenner is so busy that even after a full day's work, she has to head to an interview followed by an event or a flight. Since there's no time for a massage or a nap on those occasions, she reaches for one of her favorite foods to unwind. I'm also obsessed with frozen yogurt, she revealed in an interview with Harper's Bazaar. I could eat it every day, but I aim for twice a week to treat myself.
While she's not loyal to just one brand, for example, you can see she's a fan of Pinkberry on her Instagram page. Jenner does have a go-to frozen yogurt that she typically eats. I usually get the classic tart flavor from Go Greek, she continued. Odds are she will add a fruit like raspberries on the top for additional flavor, as she's done before. That's definitely a refreshing way to let go of stress. Kendall Jenner opts for sushi or Italian food for dinner. Kendall Jenner may get to travel the world as a model, but she's lucky to call Los Angeles her home. The SoCal city happens to be one of the most diverse restaurant scenes in the world, as noted by the Los Angeles Times. So when and where does Jenner dine out when she's in the City of Angels? If I'm lucky, dinner is a normal time, like 6 p.m., she explained to Harper's Bazaar. I love Nobu for sushi or Craig's, where I order the vegan spaghetti bolognese or margarita pizza. Jenner doesn't just grab a to-go order for dinner either. No, she tries her best to make the occasion special. I always make sure to have 1 or 2 nights a week out with friends, where I'll get dressed up for dinner and be social, she continued. Now that sounds like a meal that would leave you satisfied, both with the food and the company. If you're curious about the sushi that Jenner typically eats in a day, her Instagram has you covered. What does Kendall Jenner like to have for dessert? Kendall Jenner doesn't shy away from savory, calorie-rich foods, and she also likes to keep sweets on the menu. You'll find her absolute favorite decadent treat on the dessert list at her favorite restaurant, Mastro's Steakhouse in Beverly Hills. I always order the butter cake for dessert, she shared in a chat with Harper's Bazaar. It's dangerously good. Warm cake and a scoop of ice cream? Yes, please. In addition to the upscale dessert, Jenner has documented her love of the other sweets she typically eats on her Instagram page. In one photo, you can see her sticking out her cherry-colored tongue, presumably dyed from red shave ice. In another, she showed a spread of delicious-looking caramel apples. And when in Rome, Milan, Jenner makes sure to enjoy a scoop or 3 of gelato, as everyone should do when traveling in Italy. Mangia. This is Kendall Jenner's go-to pasta recipe. Kendall Jenner juggles a lot of activities in her life, from modeling to appearing on television to spending lots of time with her family. To that end, you won't find Jenner in the kitchen very often, as she doesn't really cook a lot. But when I do, I have a few super simple recipes that I consider my specialties, she wrote in a post on her app entitled, "The Dish I Cook for Dinner Better Than Anyone Else," via People. Her signature recipe? Fettuccine pasta with peas in a Parmesan sauce with lemon and onions, which is super simple to make. I always have all the ingredients on hand, she continued, adding that it's a dish that she could eat for every meal. So if you find yourself looking for a new recipe, try giving Jenner's a whirl. Then you'll really know what it's like to be a supermodel for a day, or something like that. Birthday charcuterie and wine? Kendall Jenner says yes, please. What's your favorite way to celebrate your birthday? Do you like to throw a big bash, replete with champagne, birthday cake, and good friends? Or are you a bit more laid back, instead preferring a simple dinner out with your family? Either way, your birthday is that one special day when you can do whatever you want, well, for the most part. As for how Kendall Jenner celebrates her special day, she's been known to throw quite the party, if her Instagram posts are any indication. For example, she went all out for her 24th, dressing up like a forest fairy and hanging around with her famous friends. Can we get an invite next time, Kendall? As for what the birthday girl likes to nosh on for her big day, there's a good chance that charcuterie and red wine will be contenders, as they've been in the past. Oh, and don't forget the birthday cake. Kendall Jenner enjoys frozen treats in addition to Kendall Jenner's penchant for sweet foods like cake and caramel apples. The model is also a big fan of frozen treats, and not just when she's enjoying gelato while exploring the streets of Italy, or stopping by Pinkberry in Los Angeles. In fact, the face of the Magnum ice cream brand admits she sometimes likes frozen treats a little too much. I'm not going to say I eat perfectly, but I try and look out for it sometimes, she revealed in a chat with Glamour. There are times when I'm like, Kendall, you've eaten 5 bowls of pasta and 3 ice cream bars, chill out. Girl, same. Jenner doesn't just enjoy frozen treats because she works with an ice cream brand, though. In fact, she once shared a photo of herself seen eating a frozen fruit bar oh so casually in a post on her Instagram page.
Hey, it's a great way to cool off in the Cali heat. This is what Kendall Jenner would eat on a perfect day. Have you ever wondered what a perfect day looks like for Kendall Jenner? While it might seem that she has perfect days all the time, given that she's a world-famous supermodel and all, Jenner's ideal day might surprise you. She'd retreat to an Airbnb away from it all with some good company. I would probably make eggs and pancakes, maybe waffles, and bacon, and watch some stupid show like Lost or whatever, she shared with Harper's Bazaar. It's my guilty pleasure. To be honest, that sounds kind of awesome. Speaking of waffles, Jenner apparently has a thing for them, which the internet has noticed. Over 500,000 people liked an Instagram post in which the celeb showed off her cinnamon roll waffles. And when the holidays roll around, it's not unusual to find takeout chicken and waffles at the Jenner domicile. As for dinner, a perfect day would involve delicious Asian takeout food. We do Thai food, we do Chinese food, sometimes sushi, she continued. I love albacore tuna and a blue crab roll. Just don't put salmon or squid in Jenner's pasta, as she finds those foods to be gross.